It is Tuesday night already. 5:15 p.m. We're going to be making Rice-A-Roni tonight. This is so fast. This is just as fast as dumping it out of a box, pretty much. But this is cheaper per serving than buying it out of the box. And it's more nutrient dense and healthy for your family. So let's get started on making this. This recipe is in my cookbook. If you don't already have my cookbook, the link is down below. All you do is like $18. All you do is click pay with your form of payment and I ship it right to you. So check that out. I'm going to be altering a little bit of that recipe tonight because I'm going to be using sprouted rice. But otherwise, everything else on there is the same. So we're going to get started. This is a really quick recipe. If you guys have any questions or any topics you guys want to talk about, let me know in the comments here live and we'll have a little chat. I'm also expecting a really important phone call, so I'm hoping it doesn't come during the class, but if it does, I'll have to leave the class and then come back with a different live. So, hey Jessica, how are you? Okay, so let's get rolling. Also, fair warning, behind you I have the window open and I have the water bath counter going behind you, so if you hear like boiling noises or unfortunately farm dogs barking, it's because that window's open because I'm letting all of the steam out. Okay, let's roll. I'm going to move you. So, I have a Dutch oven there that I'm going to be using tonight, but you could totally use anything with a lid, okay? So we're going to go over medium-high heat. I'm going to add some lard, which you could use like butter, coconut oil, tallow, duck fat, goose fat, whatever you feel like using. Just as long as it's a semi-solid at room temperature, that's what we're after. Oh, this is always better when I shut it off, isn't it? There you go. Okay. I have one gigantic onion from my garden. This thing's huge. I'm going to chop this one up. I just got my garlic in from M.I. Gardener. They had a sale on seed garlic, or which is just basically regular garlic, but anyway, garlic to plant out into the garden, and I just got it yesterday, and I had goals of putting it in today, but I did not get that done because I ended up getting sucked into a huge project out into the garden, which basically involved tearing out a whole bunch of pepper plants because our frost is going to be coming here in the next 2 weeks. And basically, it ended up being a way bigger project than what I had envisioned. And then after that, hey Sharon, then after I ripped out the plants and I harvested all the stuff off of them, then I realized I had to preserve those. I probably should have like thought through it before I started yanking things out of the ground, but I was like, ooh, frost is coming. And it's like not even on the forecast, but you know, I just get excited when my life's just about to be really, really much easier, you know? All right. Okay, Nikki says, I made some dilly beans and the jar made the ping sound. Is that the band? Hang on one second. YouTube always takes your comments away too soon. Hi, Crystal. I made some dilly beans and the jar made the ping sound. Is that then the band came loose even after I made it finger tight? Nikki, I'm trying to understand. So in my cookbook, I have a dilly beans recipe, but it's a fermented one. So that one you wouldn't be canning at all. So I'm trying to follow you here. If it's somebody else's dilly bean recipe, Nikki, what I'm understanding your comment is that it made a ping sound. I'm trying to understand what you said. I don't understand. Did you already can it and then it made a ping sound like after it came out of the canner? I do not store any of my jars with their rings on them permanently. As soon as those jars are cooled, I take those rings off because otherwise you can have what's called a kind of a fake seal is what I call it. Yeah, I made the jar finger tight and it pinged, which I'm assuming it's sealed. Hang on. Come on, YouTube. Yeah, I made the jar finger tight and it pinged, which I'm assuming it's sealed, but then the band came loose. So is that a bad thing? So if you made it fingertip tight and you threw it into the canner and and then it went through the processing and that ring was loose, that's perfectly fine. Just wait till it's completely cooled and it seals, and then you can remove that ring. Does that help? If not, Nikki, I'm sorry, I'll have to comment again. I'm trying to understand exactly what you're saying. This is one gigantic onion. I am doubling this recipe tonight because this is a family favorite, okay? So one gigantic onion. If you've got little piggies at home that like Rice-A-Roni, you're going to want to double this. And I've got little piggies at home that will eat this entire thing. And I'd like to maybe have some leftovers for tomorrow for lunch. Okay. Okay, Nikki, cool. Thank you. Yeah, what ends up happening is when you do fingertip tight, the top of that jar isn't sucked down yet, so it's thicker, if that makes sense, underneath the ring. Then you process it, and a lot of the vapors and stuff escape out of the jar. And then when that seal happens, it compresses the rubber on the bottom side of that lid, and so that's what makes your rings loose. So as long as it's cooled completely, you are safe to remove those rings. All right, this is garlic from my garden this year. I'm almost out. I wish I would have grown more, which is why I got so much from MI Gardener. I'm hoping that will be enough for next year, but it's so hard because you don't know how big anything's going to get. But I do have a plan of planting the garlic in a new spot and making sure that the soil is nice and airy and not so compressed. Okay, so this calls for 6 cloves of garlic. So we're just going to keep on chopping and adding it to the sauteing pan there. The migardener.com, they have an MI Gardener channel here on YouTube too if you're just new to gardening. Lots of free information there, which is amazing. But they actually sell like their own seeds and stuff. And they're usually like $2 a packet. So keep that in mind for next year for your seeds. So this one had a little bit of that kind of mildew dust, so I'm going to cut off the section of this one that's bad. And then I'm going to sneeze about it. But anyway, they have like plants, like live, like bare roots. Hang on. Okay. My nose says, please get that out of here. Live, like bare root trees, fruit trees, and bushes and everything for really good deals. And same thing with the garlic. It was a really good deal, which is why I did it. Okay, this is so easy. Other than the sneezing. I have some bad allergies right now as well. I don't typically get allergies until all of the soybean farmers around us are combining the soy. What ends up happening is the field is so full of dust that when you start to harvest, even corn too, but it's really bad with soybeans. It just kicks up like these huge like dust clouds, and my allergies I'm just sneezing. So if you hear that I'm congested, I'm not sick. It is September. It's September here. And to be honest, I'm probably allergic to any sort of glyphosate dust that they're kicking into the air, which unfortunately then I'm breathing. Okay. Just sauteing this so they are translucent, and we're going to add the next ingredients. Okay, so I have homemade broth right here. It's a whole gallon. Because I am using the sprouted rice, the broth amount needs to be increased to 6 cups. I think. Hang on, I gotta figure this out. Is it 6 cups? Oh, just a minute. It's 12 cups. It's 12 cups because I'm doubling it. So I'm gonna eyeball that. That's about 3/4 of a gallon. And yes, this is gelatinous because it's healthy broth and it was stored for the refrigerator. I just made this a couple of days ago. This is the broth that had the chicken feet in it. So it's got lots of gelatin. There we go. That's pretty darn close to 3/4 of a gallon there. Okay, it's still over medium-high heat. We're going to add a couple of spices, and then we're going to add our rice. So first spice is turmeric. Like, this is such a cheap meal too. If you're trying to like stretch your food budget and you need some ideas, this is really a good one. If you can't afford sprouted rice, I do have directions in the back of my cookbook on how to ferment rice. Highly recommend that. And really what we're trying to do is through the sprouting and fermenting process, we're trying to get it so that your family's body gets more of the nutrients and they fill up faster. That's the idea behind that. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of turmeric. There we go. This has always been one of our favorites. Oh, Nikki has another question. Hang on, I'm coming. I have another question. Can corn be frozen whole, or do I need to shave the kernels, then freeze the kernels in a freezer bag? That's a really good question. I'm going to assume that you can freeze them whole because you can buy those into the freezer section in a store. I've never done it that way. I'm guessing there's going to be some blanching involved, depending on how long you're going to freeze. I don't know if you've read my comments in the past about blanching. I typically do not blanch any vegetables when I freeze them, but I'm planning on using them in the next 3 to 4, possibly 5 months. It's not long-term freezer storage for me. Okay, thyme is the next ingredient. 2 teaspoons. If you try it, let me know, but I'm pretty sure you can, because if you can buy it in the store, you can probably do it yourself. Next ingredient is salt, which I don't have any out right now, so let me grab it. It's been a really, really crazy day because of, like I said, the garden. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I have to preserve all of this. Anyway, 6 teaspoons of healthy salt. So you want pink Himalayan salt, Celtic sea salt, real salt, something with some color. Anyway, so like the first peppers that we did were green chilies. And I don't know if you guys have ever grown those before, the Anaheim chilies. Those have to be roasted. So that was a whole process in itself. And then after they were roasted, then you have to peel them. And then that's actually what's going into the canner behind you guys there, are the green chilies. Okay, back to Rice-A-Roni. So I've got a 5-gallon bucket of the sprouted rice. I bought this from Azure Standard. So if you guys saw my haul, it's right down. Whoops. Right there. If you guys saw my haul, that's what that was. So I'm going to go ahead and add 8 cups of rice. And again, this whole recipe is inside my cookbook, but the recipe in my cookbook does not use sprouted rice. I hope this doesn't like grow out of my pot. It might. If it does, we'll have to move it to a different pot. That would be funny. I haven't had that happen in a really long time. I used to have it happen all the time before I got bigger pots. Okay. I took a screenshot of every answer on how you freeze veggies and saved it to my cooking. Cool. Thank you, Nikki. Sharon says, I made your green chili chicken casserole. Oh, that's such a good one. That and then the white, what is it called? White bean chicken chili inside my cookbook. That one's really good too. Okay, so this is going to come to a boil. I've got it over high heat. And once it comes to a boil, then I'm going to add a lid. So if you're a mom just getting home from work, you could totally like go take a quick shower, because none of us get showers longer than 5 minutes anyway, and come back out, and this will probably be boiling by then. In my case, I'm going to start chopping up chicken that's already cooked. However, if you don't have chicken that's already cooked and you need to use raw, when you're sauteing the onion, you could totally put your raw chicken in there at that point. I'm serious about the 5-minute shower. I think I made it in and out in 3 the other night. You know, it just depends on what's happening. If the world is falling apart outside the bathroom door, you have 2 options. Either 1, you ignore it and you keep showering, or 2, you hurry up and dry off and get out there. So depends on the situation. So we're going to be looking for 4 cups of chicken. Because this is already cooked up chicken, I'm just going to cut it, measure it out, and put it into this bowl so I can add it last. You can add it now if you want, but we don't like it to be shredded so much. We like chunks more. So let me grab the measuring cup here. I need to make some diced tomatoes tonight as well. The canner has just been running nonstop. I woke up and did 8 quarts of broth. That's a 3-hour water bath. I mean, that canner's just been going all day. By the time it got done, we were doing the green chilies. And so it kind of cooled off when we were able to get the jars in there. It's just been kind of nuts. I remember last year when I started pulling all of my garden produce because, you know, October 15th for me is usually a frost date. And it didn't come till like the 23rd. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have pulled everything. I'm not going to have regrets this year. It's okay. It can go. If it's not going to produce something in the next 30 days, it can go. I should really chop these big chunks. And that's what I told myself today. I was like, don't feel bad about pulling those plants because we don't have much grow time left, period. Now, I will say I have not touched any of the plants into the greenhouse. Those ones are still plenty. They have plenty of time to do something. And I don't know if I've said it here on the channel or not, but next year I plan to grow all of my tomatoes and all of my peppers inside the greenhouse because the ones in the greenhouse did so much better than the ones outside. It was night and day. And they both got watered the same amount of time. And so they just love that hot, humid environment. What's up, Doc? What's that?
It says to connect.
Oh, duck eggs.
No.
What are those?
We should do it. Ready? It has
What is it?
duck eggs, and you should really feel them. They have babies in them.
They have babies in them?
So they are really, really, really smooth.
Okay, I think we're going to go candle these live and see if there's babies in them. I'm hoping there's not babies. You guys are supposed to be collecting those because guess what? Winter's coming.
I know. They told me a long time ago, and I forgot them. And
It's
today
going to be so dark if I do this on the live, but it's okay. They'll give us something to do while we wait.
Ooh.
Hang on.
See, there is one problem. This one right here.
What's wrong?
It has cracks.
It has cracks, well, they can't be hatched anyway. Okay, that's fun. Okay, let's go over here, and I'm going to candle these eggs really quick. We're going to see if there's any babies in them. These are Muscovy duck eggs. This is my dirty laundry room. Ignore the filth. Okay. I'm going to angle you guys down, and then we'll end up having to turn off the light in order for you guys to see anything. Okay. So, you're going to hand me the eggs one by one? Mm-hmm. All right. You guys there? Okay, good. All right, hand me an egg. Let's pull this lid off. Okay, so there's no baby in that one. I don't know if it's even picking up anything. There's just nothing. It's just a yolk. Okay, that one's safe to eat. Not eating me any baby ducks. Also safe to eat. I don't know if you guys can even see anything on that, but there's just a yellow yolk right on the end. Let me try if I put this on if you guys can see it better. Okay. Can't really pick up anything on camera. These do not have babies in them. What is this? This is a duck one? That's huge. Is this a duck one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cracked. Yeah, this is not. That needs to go in the compost. Okay. No duckies. If it had duckies, it'd be like the yolk has like blood vessels in it. It's usually the first step. No ducky. Is this the last one?
Yeah.
Last one, guys. All right. No duckies. Okay. There you go. That concludes you guys' lesson on how to candle eggs. I think we might be pretty close to boiling out here. Okay, so those are all edible, right? Okay. We'll put them on the counter.
Yeah, this is a huge duck egg.
That's huge, and unfortunately it's cracked, so it needs to go out. Okay. All right, so we've got simmering here. I'm gonna give it a good stir, and then I'm gonna put the lid on. I'm also going to add 8 tablespoons of butter. We're going to see if I run out of room in this pot. So once this comes to a boil, then we're going to reduce it down to a low simmer, which is for me somewhere between medium and low. And it's just going to simmer for about 30 minutes. All right, I'm going to finish cutting up my meat here. You never quite know what you're going to come across on the farm. One second you're making dinner, and the next second you're checking for babies. Although I'd rather have it that way than have the kids not say anything, because I had that happen. I went to a dear friend's house. It's my first time going to her house, and our first time eating lunch together. And what do you know? The egg that I brought in one of the dozens was gross. It was, she cracked it. It went in with the rest of the eggs, and it was rotten. And I was like, oh my gosh, so embarrassed. But that's an example of mom not taking the time to candle the eggs really quick and make sure that they were still safe to eat and that they didn't have babies in them. And then it was kind of like sat on the counter and rotted. So anyway, she just got a farm, so maybe it's kind of a wake-up call. The things that can happen in eggs. I still felt bad though, but anyway, we're shooting for 4 cups of, this is boiling now, I'm pretty sure. Almost. A few more seconds over there. Going through 4 cups of chicken. The kids are playing outside. This is 3. I think Grayson is taking Naomi out to get eggs. Naomi loves that. She loves to go out and collect eggs. She's getting so big now. Such a big girl. I have been drinking broth and making sure I'm eating my probiotic foods. So hopefully, because I used to have allergies a long time ago, and I know it's a gut problem. Although in my problem right now, it's just a massive amount of dust. But anyway, I'm still doing gut support just in case my gut needs a little bit of help, and my lungs too. I mean, I've been taking Lobelia and stuff. Okay, so this is boiling. I'm going to turn it down to a low simmer. And this will be done at 6:10 my time. Anyway, I've been just trying to work on making it so that if my gut needs some more help, and that would help out with my current allergy problem with all of the dust. That's what I want to do. I want to help it out, you know. Okay, so 4 cups of chicken is going to be going into that pan of rice when it's all done boiling here in 30 minutes. If you don't care about shredded chicken, go ahead and add it now. That's fine. However, we like ours to be nice, big, and chunky, so you can actually tell that there's chicken in it. The last time that I boiled something with the chicken in there, my husband's like, is this a vegan meal? No, it's just shredded. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna check comments really quick. Sharon says, how old? Man, this is just crooked. How old is Naomi? So Naomi will be 2 in December. So that's coming super fast. She's starting to say words. There's been a lot since she's like the youngest out of 6. She does a lot of uh-huh and stuff like that. But she started to say words. So like, I think it was yesterday, the day before, she said apple. And it was like audible for more than just me, which is kind of exciting. She's just getting really big. Is she getting the eggs? Is that what's happening? I'm going to give this a good stir. She's growing up really quick. You guys can hear her. She's outside and she might be riding a bike. She loves the cow too. If she looks out the front window and the cow is going out to pasture, she just starts freaking out trying to say cow. Okay, so this has a lid on it. It's on my stove top between medium and low, like kind of in the middle. We're looking for a low simmer with a lid on. 30 minutes. The rice will be done. And I'm going to add this, and then dinner's done. That's as easy as it is. It's not complicated. It had like, what, 5 ingredients? And that's all there is to it. So anyway, other than that, I'm trying to think what else is new here. Just wrapping up the garden. We're going to be we're borrowing a bowl from somebody that we know who's a regenerative farmer locally. He's going to bring them here, I think the end of next week, probably next weekend. And that bowl is going to breed our dairy cow. So we'll have, hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll have a calf next summer, which will be really cool. Trying to think what else is new. I think I covered last week that we went and picked a whole nother orchard. So actually, I'll show you guys these racks. These are super cool too. Hang on one second. I'm going to move you. So we have, yes, everything's like horribly dirty. This is what it looks like when you've been outside and preserving things. It's everywhere. So check out these racks. So I got these racks for free. My parents bought an old building that had been a lot of things. Originally it was a bank. Then I went to a restaurant, a couple different restaurants. Anyway, these, I don't know if they held, it wasn't plates or cups. So it must have been bread or something. Anyway, they stack. And you guys can see I have these huge pears that I picked from that second orchard. And they're all in a single layer on each one. And these hold about 25 pounds. So it's about 75 pounds of pears. And so each day we just kind of lift them off of each other and check for ripe ones. And that's how we have snack. So that worked out pretty well. And then of course, somebody was playing with trains today. That was Naomi and the other little kids. They were all playing together. Trying to think what else is new. I am going to be canning up, after this load gets done, I'm going to be canning up tomatoes from the garden. I need to get some more diced tomatoes done tonight. And, ooh, I have a really pretty jalapeno jack cheese. Let me show you guys. I'll go get it. It needs to be salted anyway. This is so pretty. I love making pretty cheeses. This is like quickly becoming an addiction. So, let me show you. Look how pretty that cheese is. We usually order the jalapeno jack from Azure Standard every month, but not when you can make it, right? So I'm going to add some salt to this real quick. Because you have to rub it down with salt twice a day for 2 days. And it just helps to like dry out the cheese and prevent bad bacteria from growing on it. And then it gets moved into my cheese cave, which is a wine cellar fridge, where it finishes aging. Since this is a jack, technically I only have to age it for 2 months, but you can age it up to 3. But it's just so pretty. Those jalapenos came out of my garden, so this whole thing is from our farm, which I just love. It's just so pretty. Ended up, kind of reminds me of Christmas, you know, the colors, but it's red jalapenos and green jalapenos, so it's beautiful. So proud of that one. Okay. One more check on the meal, and then we're going to, I'll let you guys go here. See, it's just on a really, really low simmer, if that gives you guys any idea. Just a really low simmer. Then the rice is starting to cook. And the rice is going to take on that color of the turmeric, which is what it makes it look like, the Rice-A-Roni. Plus it gives it the flavor of Rice-A-Roni when you add it to the thyme. So it's super, super good. All right, I got a comment. Hang on a second. Thank you, Nikki. She says the cheese is gorgeous. I'm becoming addicted to making cheese. And at first, I thought it was a really big burden, just one more thing for me to do. But then a dear friend's words came to me and was like, if you didn't enjoy what you're doing, you wouldn't do it because you're too stubborn, which I am. And so basically, that made me reevaluate why I do what I do every day. And it was in that moment where I was like, actually, I really, really like making cheese. Like, I really, really like this. This is fun. It's, you know, the cheddar kind of gets boring because it all looks the same. So if I can do like different seasonings in the cheddar, or I made a whole bunch of mozzarella this weekend. That was all. I filled this chest freezer right there. Woo. The whole thing was full of goat's milk when we sold our goats, because I did not know I was going to be buying a cow that was going to have milk. And so we turned all of that milk, I think it was like 15 gallons or 16 gallons, into mozzarella this weekend. That was a huge project. And yes, there was whey everywhere. That's what happens when you make mozzarella, because you get to stretch it and then it drips off of it. Anyway, so that's kind of fun, because you can add like spices, like Italian basil, oregano to your cheese. So that's kind of fun. But the pretty ones, the ones with color, I like those. Those are fun to make. So anyway, that's all I've got, you guys. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Hope you guys try this meal. It's delicious and fast. It's really fast. I've only been on for 31 minutes, and we're just waiting for this to finish cooking for about another 20. So if you guys like this recipe, hey, comment down below and let me know you tried it and it was amazing. And like I said before, if you guys need my cookbook, the link's down below. It's $18. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining me.